Okay. Good evening. So you could probably guess what my Dharma talk is for this week. We'll be talking about gratitude, and which is something we should do every day, all day long. So what I want us to do tonight, or I invite you to join me in doing, is allow your yoga poses, allow the energy you generate to speak for you, to express gratitude. Because we know that gratitude actually counters the effects of stress. And you could be grateful for the tiniest little thing or for something big, like Pennsylvania rejecting, oh, I'm not supposed to talk politics. Right. So there's those things. And so, yeah. So with that in mind, please let's come inside and close your eyes and focus on your breath. Begin to deepen your breath. Fill your lungs all the way up as full as you can, and then hold it for a count of 2 or 3, and then very slowly let your breath go. And when you're completely empty, totally, completely, not a drop of air left, hold the emptiness for a count of 3. And continue this way, cycling your breath, holding it at the end of your inhale and at the end of your exhale. A practice of focus. Kumbhaka is the retention of breath and allows us to practice focus. And we can be grateful for every breath that we take. Begin to return to your natural breath. And then when you do, continue to notice your breath as you gently open your eyes. We're going to begin our practice in child's pose. So you can have your arms in child's pose wrapped back behind your legs with your fingers pointing the same way as your toes. They can be, you can be on your forearms with your head resting on your arms. Whatever is the most delicious child's pose for you. And now extend your arms overhead for an extended child's pose. Look up between your hands. Come up onto your fingertips, your right fingertips, and thread your right arm underneath your left. Let it come as close to the mat as it comfortably can. Look under your left arm. Release your right arm, bring it back parallel with your left, and thread your left arm underneath your right. Look under your right arm. Release your arm, bring them both to parallel. Look forward. Lift your hips and bring your hips forward, your heart between your hands, your legs long behind you, straight and long. This is our first heart opener because gratitude, when we are thankful, we open up our heart. Inhale, exhale, send your hips back to your heels. Inhale, bring your heart forward again. Inhale, exhale, hips back to your heels. Inhale, come up to table, Varasana. Your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, your arms are rotated so that the crease of your elbow moves toward your index finger. And let's do some cats and dogs here. So on an inhale, you'll send your heart down and forward. Exhale, arch to the sky. Cat back. Continue at your own pace, feeling the change in your spine as you go from one curve to the other. Next time you're in cat pause, send your hips to your heels. Extend your arms in front of you. Lift your hips, come forward like we did before, sending your heart between your arms. Legs are long behind you. Turn under your toes, downward facing dog. So let's get our alignment, chest moving towards your thighs, heels moving towards the mat, your hands pushing the mat away, your arms rotated outwardly. And once you're all set up and in alignment, begin to walk your dog, bending one knee and then the other. And maybe you'll pulse with one heel, pulse it towards the mat, because this allows us to open up the backs of our legs. You can feel it behind your knee, you can feel it in your calf. Just do a little pulsing from one heel to the other. And then come back to your dog. Come forward to plank. Bring your left knee down to the mat underneath your hip. Swivel your right foot on the mat, fan open to the right. Send your arm alongside your ear, your right arm alongside your ear. And stretch. Send your fingers one way, your toes the other way. Maybe your foot will even come off the mat a little bit because you're stretching so long. Inhale, exhale, back down to the mat. Turn under your toes, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Right knee comes down. Swivel. And fan open to the left. Left arm alongside left ear and stretch your whole side body. Feel the stretch. And then bring your arm down, bring your hips down. Look between your hands, slide your hands towards your knee as you come to stand on your knee, on your knees. Okay. Bring your hands to your pelvis. So you want to hold your hips, hold them so that they continue to face forward. And we're going to twist in one direction. It doesn't matter which one you start in. So I'm going to my right. I'm going to twist, but you're going to twist from your waist. That's why we're holding our pelvis forward. Just twist from our waist. Look over your shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, opposite side. A little pre-Thanksgiving stomach twist. You know, get our waists nice and cinched in. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale to center, exhale. Inhale to center, release your arms. Send your arms up, all the way up and gather. Look up at your hands. Bring the palms of your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Prayer. Let your hands come together in gratitude. Bring that gratitude down to your heart. Send your arms out outside your body, your palms facing forward. Open heart. Little baby back bend here. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, your hands come down to the mat, your hips to your heels. Palms of your hands are on the mat. Sending your gaze inside in a pose of humility. Inhale, come up onto your knees, send your arms out to the side, up overhead. Hands together, grateful for this moment. Bring that gratitude down to your heart. We're going to do that again. Arms up overhead, hips to your heels, palms of your hands on the mat overhead. Humility. Send your arms out to the side as you come up onto your hips. Open up your heart. Inhale, arms overhead in your prayer of gratitude. Bring it down to your heart. And breathe. Good. Release your arms. Step your right leg forward. Walk it away. Inhale your arms overhead alongside your ears, your hips slide forward. Inhale, exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, straighten your right leg. Inhale, bend your knee, bring your arms overhead, your hips forward. Inhale, exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, straighten your leg. Inhale, bend your knee, bring your hands up overhead and pause. Bring your arms down by your side, bring your knee back under your hip. Let's do the other side. Left leg comes forward, walk it away. The farther you walk it away, the more you'll stretch your right quads. Right. Inhale, arms overhead, slide your hips forward. Exhale, arms to the mat, straighten your left leg. Inhale, overhead, slide your hips forward. Exhale, hands to the mat, straighten your leg. Again, arms up. Oops, arms up. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, straighten your leg. Bow. Bend your knee, bring your arms back, bring your knee back. All right. Send your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers. Send your knuckles down towards the mat. Straighten your arms. Send your heart up to the sky. Inhale back to a neutral spine. Let's do that again. Arms back behind you. Yoga Mudra. Back bend. Heart opening. Gratitude flowing. And release. Come back onto hands and knees. And step your hands forward. Forward of your shoulders. You're going to send your hips forward, then to the left, then to the back, then to the right. So make big circles with your hips. And land with your heart between your arms, your hips, your legs long behind you. You'll pause for a moment, and then you're going to go in the opposite direction with your circles. And the next time your heart is between your arms, pause. Bring your hips to your heels. And come up with your arms on your mat. You're sitting on your heels just for a moment. So you're going to slide on to one side or the other to come into a seated pose. Into Sukhasana. Right. Take a breath. Then bring the soles of your feet together. Bring your hands on your shins, and let's do some cats and dogs again. So on an inhale, your elbows bend, your heart comes forward. On an exhale, your heart curls back, your spine curls back behind you. You're using your arms like cables. And continue at your own pace, just a few times. And then come up to a neutral spine. Okay. So we have to do a little bit more twisting, right? Get ready for Thursday. So you're going to twist to the right. I'm not mirroring you. I'm going to my right, left hand on right knee, right arm behind you. You're looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, get taller, empty of breath, twist a little bit more. Inhale to center. Inhale, exhale, twist to the opposite side. Look over your left shoulder. Getting taller and then twisting. Inhale and exhale back to center. Okay, so you're going to put your feet on the mat, flat on the mat. Your fingers pointing forward, your wrists behind your hips to support you. So your wrists should be under your shoulders. Inhale, and then exhale, lift your hips, bring them toward your feet, your heels. Lift and bring them back between your hands. Lift your hips, bring them toward your heels. Inhale, lift, and bring them back where they started. All right, so this time we're going to lift our hips, bring them forward, and come up into a reverse table. Yeah. This is for you, Stefania. And your nose is pointing to the ceiling. Do not let your head hang down. You want a straight line from your knees to the crown of your head. Make sure your heels are, your ankles are under your knees. Inhale your hips back down to the mat. Okay. Shake out your wrists. Yeah, you're holding yourself up, right, with your wrists. And put them back where we started. So we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, come up to your table. Now bring your hips back down to the mat. Extend one leg, not flat, just your knees are still going to be slightly up off the mat. You're going to step your hands back just a little bit. All right, and on an inhale, you're going to lift your hips for Purvottanasana, an up plank, an upward facing plank. And then bring your hips back down to the mat. Okay, good. So a little bit later on, we will do a little plank workshop because that came up last week. That we would like a little bit more work on plank, so we're going to do that today. All right. You're going to make your way now up to stand. Take your time. Come to your mountain when you get there. Shoulders over hips, hips over ankles, head over heart, chin level with the earth, crown of the head moving to the heavens. You're rooted into the earth. Send your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let your arms fall naturally at your side. Grateful for this moment. Inhale, gather. Exhale, bring your prayer to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale and exhale. Okay. So one more thing that I want to show you before we're going to do a sun salutation. And in the sun salutation, I will ask you to do knees, chest, chin, which is Ashtanga Namaskar. And so I want to just show you that one pose to show you an alternative if knees, chest, chin is not for you. All right. So just watch me. All right. So we're going to be doing this from plank. So you'll be in plank, and I'm going to say knees down to the mat. You watch what I do with my back. So I want to come forward, bend my elbows, my chest and chin come down to the mat. My hips are in the air. I'm going to slide my legs behind me, and then I'll come up to a baby cobra. All right, so that is, I'll do it again. Plank, knees, swing forward, chest and chin to the mat. Slide your legs back and lift your head and shoulders up. Okay. So an alternative to that would be plank. Bring your knees to the mat, bring your forearms to the mat. Slide your legs back, come onto your belly, slide your hands alongside your hips. All right, once more. And those of you, of course, who know this can do it along with me. All right, knees to the mat, forearms to the mat, legs lengthen behind you, arms, hands alongside your breast. And then you'll come up to your baby cobra. Okay. Okay, here we go. Mountain. Inhale, gather. Exhale, fold over your legs. You can soften your knees. Inhale, come halfway up to a flat back. Your hands can be on your thighs, on your shins, alongside your hips. Exhale, bend your knees, come back down to the mat. Send your right leg back, your left leg back directly to plank. Here we go. Knees, chest, or chin, or the optional method. Knees, chest, chin, and you lift your head and your shoulders. You're not pushing into the mat. Baby cobra. Melt back down, turn under your toes, downward facing dog. You stay in down dog for 5 breaths. Then step your right foot forward, your left foot forward. And you can step your leg forward in stages. Take 1 step, 2 step, and then help your leg forward with your hand. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay, again, inhale, exhale. Inhale halfway, exhale fold. Inhale left leg, right leg, plank. Hold your plank for a couple of breaths. Knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. Come through plank, downward facing dog. So if you did not get what I was talking about, when you step, we're going to step our left leg forward, but wait before you do anything. So you might do that in a few steps instead of one big one. So I'm going to do it in a couple of steps so you can see it. So your left leg comes forward, forward, and then bring it all the way up. All right. Back leg follows, Uttanasana. Fly out and up and down the center line. All right. Okay. So now we're going to do our little plank workshop. And this is important. There are several ways to get into plank. So we'll do all of them, all the ones. And later we'll do the one from a sitting position. But right now we're going to do all the ones that we do from down dog. So I'm going to come to my down dog. Now, if you want to learn this, watch me first if you don't feel comfortable. If you know these inside out, then do them right along with me. So we're going to start with down dog. Come forward to plank. Now, the first version, you step, I'm going to step my right leg outside the long edge, the right edge of my, the long edge of my mat to the right. And I'm going to walk my foot away, make sure my ankle is under my knee. And I'm going to swivel my left leg so that the pinky toe edge of my left leg is on the mat. This is a supported side plank. All right, so your knee is at a right angle here. Your foot is like middle of the long edge of your mat. Bring your hand down, bring your foot back. Downward facing dog. We'll do that on the other side. From down dog to plank. So from plank, you're going to step your left foot outside the long edge of your mat. Walk your foot away a little bit. Swivel your bottom leg so that you're on the outside edge of the leg for supported side plank. So just one leg is in the side plank. Bring your hand back down to the mat, swivel, down dog. All right. So here's the next way of doing this. You're going to separate your feet while you're in down dog. You're going to come forward to plank. You're going to swivel your feet so that both your feet are flat on the mat as you open up for a side plank. Come back to down dog. Come forward to plank. And I'll do this on the other side. So my feet are a little bit farther away than usual so that I can swivel them and they come down. So my bottom leg is on the outside, the pinky edge, but my top leg is flat on the mat. This is Another variation of side plank. All right. So I will do the final standing variation from plank. You're going to come to plank. Your feet are together. You're going to swivel your feet, one foot on top of the other, to stack your legs. Look up at your hand. Bring it down. Bring your knees down. All right. Other side. Okay. Plank. Swivel. Stack your legs. Bring it down. Bring your knees down. Child's pose. Okay, make your way up to stand. All right. Come to the top of your mat, mountain. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Right leg goes back, left leg goes back. Downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Set your feet up for whichever side plank you wish to do. And here we go to open up to the right in your side plank. Lift your hips. Hand comes back down to the mat, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up to the sky. Your left heel is coming towards the mat. You're going to bend your right knee, open up your hips, your knee going towards the sky, your right heel going toward your left buttock. So you're opening up your hips. Square your hips with the mat, your knees pointing down. And you're going to bring your knee forward underneath your body and step it, your knee outside your right wrist, and bring your left leg all the way down to the mat for pigeon. So in pigeon, your knee is outside your right wrist, your toes are coming towards your left wrist. They're coming towards it. They probably won't touch. And slide your left leg back as far as possible. If your right hip is not down on the mat, then use a blanket or something else to even off your hips. This is important. You want to keep your spine in a long straight line. So if you're lopsided, that won't happen. If you're like this, or if you're twisted in the other direction. So you want either flat hips, which probably won't happen right now if you're new to this. So use that blanket or pillow. And then walk your hands down, come onto your forearms. You can make a pillow with your hands for your forehead to come to a reclining pigeon. Come on to straight arms. Now you could go back to a reclining pigeon. You could stay here with straight arms, or you can bend your left leg, reach for your foot with your left hand, and maybe raise your right hand, bringing your thumb and your index finger together for a king pigeon. Bring your hands down to the mat. Turn under your left toes, lift your knee away from the mat. Lift your right leg, send it back behind you and up for a three-legged downward facing dog. Bend your knee. Step your foot forward and the other foot forward. Hang over, Uttanasana. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay. You ready for the other side? All right, here we go. Mountain. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Left leg goes back. Right leg goes back. Downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Swivel your feet into a side plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg straight up to the sky. Then bend your knee, sending your left foot to your right buttock. Square your pelvis with the mat. Your knee is still bent. You're going to slide that left knee outside your left wrist as your whole body comes forward. Place it on the mat. Toes toward your right wrist. Straighten your left leg out behind you. Stretch it long on the mat. That's what will help you bring your hips back down to the mat. But once again, place something underneath your hip if you're not flat on the back. Come onto your forearms. Reclining pigeon. Come up onto straight arms. Nice long spine. Bend your right knee or come back to reclining pigeon, your choice. Take your right foot And your choice if you'd like to keep your left hand down or lift it up into the sky. Release your leg. Come back down onto the mat. Reclining pigeon just for another couple of breaths. Straighten your arms, wrists under your shoulders, turn under your right toes, lift your knee away from the mat. Send your left leg back behind you, lift it all the way up to the sky. Your right heel is coming towards the mat as your left leg goes all the way up to the sky. Then bring it down to the mat. Inhale your left leg forward, your right leg forward. Fold over. Fly out and up and down the center line. Right. So we're going to make our way back down to the mat. And when we get there, come to Dandasana, staff pose. So you'll be seated with your legs straight out in front of you. So I like to start with chin to chest, roll your shoulders, bend your knees, hands to the mat, one knee then the other, and come to sit. Legs straight out in front of you. So last week we did a side plank, a supported side plank from this position. So I want to go through that again, and some of you may know this pose very well, and you can do it with me, but if you're unsure of it, please watch me. So here's how it went. And let me just give me a second. I want to make sure. Yeah, okay, I'm on the right side. Okay, bring your left leg into your chest. Step it over your right. Wrap your right hand around your left leg. Look over your left shoulder. Left arm alongside left ear. Turn for counter twist. Now here's where we start to come into that side plank from the floor, from a seated position. So you're going to step your left foot away from your thigh. And you'll notice that you automatically roll over onto the outside edge of your bottom leg. So once again, just take a look at me if you're unsure of this. And then you're going to use your left hand as a kind of propeller to come up to your supported side plank, what we did just a little while ago. So now you see how we do it when we are on the mat. Bring your hip back down. Let's do the other side. Right knee comes in. Cross it over the left. Wrap your left arm around, twist to look over your right shoulder. Right arm alongside right ear, counter twist. Step your right foot away from your bottom thigh, roll over. You're rolling over. You automatically do that when you send your leg away, rolling over to the outside edge. All right. And if your bottom leg, if your knee is bent a little bit, that's fine. It'll straighten out as soon as you come up to your side plank, your supported side plank. Your right leg is serving as a kind of a kickstand, support, and bring it down. Okay. I think everybody deserves to come on down onto their back, however you want to get there. Nice and slowly. And when you get there, bring your feet to the mat. Lengthen your spine. Blankets. All right. Bring your right ankle on your left thigh. Bring your left leg into your chest, so both legs are coming in as a single unit. You're going to put your right hand in between your legs. You're going to wrap your hands, interlace your fingers around your left thigh. Your right foot is flexed. You want to send your left knee away from you, and I use my right elbow to help send it away. Because eventually, after doing a lot of yoga, that will just happen naturally, that your knee will be more of a right angle. But right now, you just want to help it by pushing it away. Roll a little from side to side. Keep that right foot flexed. Come back to center. Extend your right leg to the ceiling. Extend your left leg to the ceiling. Bend your knees. Bring your right ankle over your left. Take your feet in your hands. Release your top leg, your top foot, which should be your right, and place it down on the mat. And then you're still holding your left foot. Bring your left knee down on the mat. So it would be going in the same direction as your right foot. Still holding your left foot. Left arm goes alongside your left ear, back behind you. You're going to lift your right hip and stretch your foot. Your right foot pushes into the mat, your knee to the ceiling, your left arm goes in one direction, you're going in all these different directions, stretching your whole body, and bring it down. Place your feet down on the mat. Cross your left ankle onto your right thigh. Bring your right knee into your chest. Your left foot is flexed. You're pushing your knee away with your elbow. You're going to roll from side to side. You're going to come to center. You're going to stretch your left leg. Release your right leg and stretch that. Bend your knees and cross your left ankle over your right. Take your feet. Release your left foot to the mat. place your right knee on the mat. You're holding your right foot, right arm alongside right ear. You're going to lift your left hip, press your left foot into the mat, your knee to the ceiling, and stretch, big, long, full body stretch. And release it. All right. You're going to send one leg out in front of you, straight along the mat, and then the other coming into Shavasana. Allow your legs to splay open, your arms rotate so that your palms are facing the sky. Allow your fingers to curl up. Grateful for this moment. Your cupped hands are a mudra of giving and receiving. Of gratitude and thoughtfulness. Allow your whole back body to melt into the mat, giving in to gravity. Assimilating all of the energy that you have just generated. Allowing the flow of air through your body to feel, to express gratitude. Om Namah Shivaya. I surrender to transformation and welcome the changes that will lead me to who I am. Take a deep breath. Begin to reawaken your body. Roll your head from side to side. Make gentle movements with your hands and your feet. Send your arms overhead, your feet away from you for a final deep body stretch. Then bring your knees into your chest and hug them and roll from side to massage your back. And come to center. Roll over on to your right side, exposing your moon side to prepare you for the evening ahead. Coming in to a final fetal position, a pose of rebirth. And whenever you're ready, come up to sit. And when you get there, bring your hands to your heart. The Sanskrit for gratitude is dhanyavad, and it means I feel gratitude. It is much more deeper than a thank you or I am grateful. It is I feel it deeply. My whole body is filled with gratitude. So dhanyavad, I feel deep gratitude for you. Namaste.